Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you play a song by Tom T. Hall called I Like Beer. And we'll end up capoing this on 4th fret to kind of match the recording. We're going to walk through some things and reposition. And we start off with kind of this cool little intro part around a C major chord. And we play C major. First finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, and third finger on the A string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now, while you're on C's in general, it can be kind of cool to lift off the 1st finger and kind of make that a C major 7. Or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd and kind of make it a C major 9 and kind of say some things around the C chord. And through the tune, actually, it's kind of a 3 pulse, actually, kind of a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm kind of doing 3 downs on the chords and kind of doing a little bit of muting, actually, with the right hand to kind of make that a little sneaky. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4 or a 3/4 like this little waltz thing is down, down, up, down, up. So you could try that a lot too. Kind of that down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. You want to kind of alternate between those. And then from that intro, then we go into our verse part. And our verse starts on the C, and then we do another C, but then we go to an F major chord. We'll talk about an easy way to play this, but if you know the bar F, you do your first finger across the entire 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the A string 3rd, and the pinky on the D string 3rd. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major bar chord, and it sounds really happy. Now, a good substitute for that, though, if you're just starting out, is something called F major 7, where you do the first finger on the B string 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, and third finger on the D string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds an F major 7. It sounds really, really happy. And from the F, we go back to C, and then we do another C, C, and then we go to a G major chord. And then we play G major. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string 3rd fret, third finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now, you may also want to think about kind of putting the third finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E string 3rd, kind of working that for your G major. Or you might even dig on a G7 sound, where you do first finger on the high E 1st fret, second finger on the A string 2nd fret, third finger on the low E string 3rd fret. Kind of work that for your G. And then from the G we go back to the C, C, and then an F, C. But then we go to a D major chord. We play D major. First finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, second finger on the high E 2nd fret, and third finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you may also dig on kind of a D7 sound, where you do the first finger on the B string 1st fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, and third finger on the high E 2nd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D7 chord, and it sounds really, really nasty. But it really helps point to the G or the G7. And at the very end, we kind of have this big down on the G chord. So we tried through our verse with kind of our strumming, we have kind of C, C, F, C, 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 G, C, C, F, C, D, D, G, and kind of a big G. And then we come back in on kind of our pre-chorus part. And our pre-chorus starts on the F. And we do that 4 times. And then we go to C twice, and then we go to F twice, and then we end up on a D major chord 4 times, or D7. And then there's kind of this 2-hit on the last G chord where you go kind of down, down. So we tried our pre-chorus with our strumming. We have the F, 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 C, F, D, D, G, G. Okay. Alright, but then from there, then we go into our chorus part. And our chorus starts on C major twice, and then we go to F, and then we go to C, and then we do C twice, and then we go to F twice. And then there's this cool little tag where we go from the F major to a D major, D7, and then we go to a C, but then we go to an A major. We play A major. First finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the 2nd finger, which is always a dangerous finger to lift. But that sounds an A7 chord. Or you could readjust your fingers and kind of put your pinky on the high E3rd and kind of make that an A7. And then from the A we go to a D, and then we go to a G, and then we go back to C twice. So through the chorus with the strumming, we do kind of C, C, F, C, 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 F, F, D, C, A, D, G, C, C. And then we kind of end up kind of doing some C's at the very end, kind of like our intro. Now the weird part is to play along with Tom T. Hall, instead of starting on a C chord, he's starting on an E major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 4th fret, then now your C is really an E major chord, and your F is really an A major chord, and your G is really a B major chord, and your D is really an F sharp major chord, and your A major is really a C sharp major. But to take it from the very beginning, we kind of got that intro with kind of that C. And then from there, then we go into our verse part. So we got our C, C, F, C, 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 G, C, C, F, C, D, D, G, and kind of our big G. And then I like, and then we go into our pre-chorus. And then we got our F, F, C, there's this cool little bass line if you wanted to kind of throw into that, or to lead into the last chorus, you play 3 on the low E, and then open A, and then 2nd fret on the A. It's kind of like a little lead into our chorus, kind of 3, O, 2, or G, A, B. So we kind of tried that into our chorus. We'd have that 3, O, 2, C, F, C, 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 F, F, D, C, then we kind of go back into our intro part. Now one other thing I think about adding to the song though is bass notes, and a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So on the C you'd have the A for the bass. On the F, like if you're doing the bar F, you'd have low E for the bass. On the F major 7 you'd have D for the bass. On the D you'd have the D for the bass. And on the G you'd have low E for the bass. And when we get to the A chord we'd have the A string for the bass. So we tried that intro with kind of a bass down, up, down, up. We'd have C, C, C. And then if we try that idea through our next verse, we'd have C, C, F, C, 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 G, C, C, F, C, D, D, G, and kind of bass. And then from there, then we go into our pre-chorus part. Tried that with basses. We'd have the F, C, C, F, D, G. And then we can kind of use our bass lead off, kind of that 3, O, 2 lead into our chorus with the C, C, into our intro part is kind of a chorus tag. Now one other way to kind of work basses through the tune though is, you'll kind of hear this in the tune, it's almost like a country waltz kind of idea, where on the C chord a lot of times what the bass player will do is kind of a root of the chord, which is the C note, what we're using for the bass now, and then they'll alternate that with something called the 5th. And if you counted up 5 notes from a C, C, D, E, F, G, a G note would be the 5th. And you could kind of get that idea by going from the A string 3rd fret to the low E string on the 3rd fret. So I'm actually kind of moving my finger from the A 3rd to the low E string 3rd, kind of for that C chord. And if you kind of dig on that sound, actually for the F major, if you're doing the bar, you'd have the low E to the A string to get that same sound. And on the F major 7, you could kind of do that same C trick, kind of the D 3rd to the A string 3rd. And on the D chord, you have the D string to the A string for the root 5th. Bass down, up, down, around that chord. And on the G, you have the low E string to the D string for your root 5th. And if we had enough time to do it, on the A, we'd have the A string to the low E string for our 5th. Now, we can only you kind of work that fifth endo when we kind of got double the chords, like where you're on that chord more than once. Otherwise, you've really just kind of got to get to the bass down, up, for the other ones. But if we tried that through the intro, you'd have this C with an A bass, low E bass, C with an A bass, low E bass. And if we tried that idea through our next verse, we'd have the C, G, F, C, C, G, C, F, C, and then if we tried that idea through our next pre-chorus, we'd have the F, C, F, D, E, G, G, and then we get throwing that bass lick. We have that 3-0-2 to go to the C. C chord. Yes, I like beer on the C chord. Or if you wanted to kind of follow those notes, you could kind of play open E, and then 4th fret on the B, 3rd fret on the B, and then hit your C chord with the 1st fret on the B string, and then go crazy on the C. Kind of for our outro. But that's the basics of how you can strum through I Like Beer by Tom T. Hall. And I do like beer, so good luck!